Hello and welcome to a new video in our channel, and today we are going to recap Over the Sky for you. Anime begins and we are introduced to a young girl named Mio who is dreaming. She is seen playing with her childhood friend Erida in a playground. Mio loves Erida but lacks the confidence to confess her feelings. Suddenly, she falls off a cliff and wakes up in a panic. She says goodbye to her mom and her fish, rushes for school, and boards a train with Madoka, who is also their best friend. Both Madoka and Mio have feelings for Erida, so Mio shares the dream she had with them. However, they don't believe her and make fun of her. During school training, Mio gets exhausted and decides to rest under a tree. Erida encourages her to continue training. In the classroom, Mio receives her exam results and is saddened by her low score of 20 marks. Later, Mio and Erida are seen on the terrace where Erida convinces her to study harder. To cheer her up, Erida takes her to different places the next day. Mio expresses her desire to see a whale, so Erida takes her to the seaside. Mio sneaks a picture of him and Erida reveals that this place is where he goes when he feels down. Erida gives Mio his bracelet as a lucky charm and asks her to take care of it. Mio becomes very happy and they return home. Mio tries to study but quickly gets distracted by her phone. She receives a message from Erida and lies to him about studying. Feeling frustrated, she hugs her soft toy and glares at Erida's picture, thinking she will never be able to confess her love. The next day at school, Erida asks Mio if she slept well because she looks tired, but Mio falsely claims she slept well. Erida then invites Mio to watch a movie, and she gladly accepts. Madoka overhears their conversation and feels upset, thinking they are dating. Madoka confronts Mio and asks if they are dating, and Mio lies, saying she would never date her best friend. Madoka confesses her love for Erida, shocking Mio. Mio decides to sacrifice her own feelings and asks Madoka to go to the train alone with Erida. During the movie, Mio keeps thinking about Madoka and seems distant. Erida notices and asks her if something happened, but Mio doesn't reply. While walking, they pass by a place where a woman named Eureka predicts the future. They enter the place, and Eureka tells Mio that she is in danger. Erida also has visions there and sees magical spirits. Both of them get scared and leave. When Mio asks Erida what happened, he remains silent, frustrating her. Mio gets angry and tells him they shouldn't hang out as often. She later regrets her words. Erida apologizes to Mio via text, but Mio feels even worse. She decides to visit Erida and rides her bicycle, but gets into an accident and gets injured. The next day at school, Erida ignores Mio, making her feel lonely. Even on the train, Erida doesn't talk to her. Something unnatural occurs, and Mio finds herself in another world, alone on a train. She sees a whale and feels happy. The train runs on water, and she enters a new realm called the World Border, where people visit before dying. Mio's soft toy talks to her and offers her a gate to enter her dream world, but Kiku stops her, warning her that she won't be able to return to the human world. In the World Border, people have purple bodies without flesh and bones. Mio's hand also turns purple, but Kiku asks her to remember her memories, and her body turns back to normal. Kiku explains that in this world, people forget their memories and their bodies turn purple. Kiku advises Mio to go to the counter and ask for a ticket to return to the human world by clarifying her reason to return. Mio decides to use her love for Erida as a reason, but she forgets about it when asking for the ticket and doesn't receive it. Mio asks Kiku how she knows about the ticket counter, and Kiku reveals that she has returned to the human world once. They decide to visit the Mother Goddess, who turns out to be a shop owner Mio knew from her childhood. Mio also reunites with a dog she used to play with. The shop owner advises Mio to calm down and helps her. Meanwhile, Erida is with Eureka, who turns out to be his aunt. He convinces her to help Mio, but then he collapses and his soul reaches the world border. Mio also experiences childhood memories and this time successfully obtains her ticket from the counter. She becomes happy and ready to leave, thanking Kiku, Grandma Mori, and her soft toy, Gaiman. She boards the train, but for some reason, she returns to the world border and loses hope of escaping. After Mio returns, Gaiman remains shocked. When Mio asks Gaiman why she couldn't return to her own world, Gaiman tells her that it happened because she didn't want to go back. Mio visits Mrs. Mori and starts crying. Mrs. Mori reveals her true form as the mother goddess and explains to Mio that she needs to find a purpose to return and have a strong heart. Without these, she cannot go back. Mogari, the devil in the world border, is using Mio's fear to prevent her from returning. So she must overcome that fear and find her purpose. The mother goddess summons a door that leads to Mio's memory world. Gaimon suggests that Mio give up and pass through the death gate, but Mio dismisses him. As Mio enters the door, she finds herself on the day of the fire festival, where she spent time with Erida. Erida had given her a fish as a gift that day and said something to her, but Mio couldn't hear it no matter how hard she tried. Mogari asks Mio to enter the death gate and accept the flow of nature, but Mio refuses to give up her life. She declares that she will return to her world. Mogari, in the form of a spider, tries to attack her forcefully, but Gaimon saves her. Gaimon wants to see Mio and Erida meet, so he sends Mio to another dimension where she encounters Kiku. In the human world, Kiku was Mio's fish, so they share a connection. In the world border, all people appear as purple shadows except for those who are connected in real life. This is why Mio can see Kiku and how Kiku knows everything about her and Erida. Kiku transforms into a fish and tries to help Mio escape. She throws Mio into the water, and they get separated. Mio reunites with Erida, and they hold hands and hug each other. Mio remembers that during the fire festival, Erida said, "I love you" to her, which she didn't hear. Orika calls Erida in the human world and saves him. Erida disappears, and Mogari confronts Mio again, telling her that she cannot escape her fate and must give up her life. However, Mio asserts that she can return to the human world, considering it a challenge. Orika is angry at Erida for using his powers to go to the world border. Erida becomes upset, and they head to the hospital. There, Orika convinces Erida never to use that power again. The power was passed down through the Kishimo family, and Erida's mother despised it. Orika reveals that when Erida was playing with Mio during their childhood, his power activated, causing his soul to leave his body. When he returned, his father had already died. In the hospital, Mio finds herself in her hospital room and realizes she has returned to the human world. However, when she tries to hug Erida, she passes through him, unable to touch him, and Erida cannot hear her. Mio finds her body in her hospital room and realizes she hasn't fully regained her life. Mogari reminds her of how she ended up in the world border. The night after her accident, it wasn't shown what happened to her, only the scene of the next day. She had been separated from the human world, so when she called out to Erida the next day, he ignored her because he couldn't hear or feel her presence. She pleads with Mogari for her life, but he refuses to spare her and asks her to look at Erida one last time. Mio enters the room and apologizes to Erida. Erida asks Orika if she can save Mio, but she tells him that Mio left her body a long time ago, and it is beyond her reach to save her now. Erida wants to use his power to save Mio, but Orika stops him, revealing that her father died because of that power, and his mother feared the same fate for Erida, so she separated them. She didn't hate him, she loved him. Erida senses Mio's presence, but can't see her, and eventually, even that sensation fades away. Orika had once told Erida that if they took Mio's body to the place where she had the most beautiful memories, they could bring her back. So Erida decides to take her body to the cliff where he had given her the bracelet. Mio returns to another world, where Mogari informs her that the world she wants to enter lies beyond the gate. However, Mio asserts that she wants to do as she desires and refuses to bypass the gate. The mother goddess and Mogari smiled upon hearing this, and a golden gate appears in the sky. When Mio passes through it, she returns to her body and hugs Erida. She confesses her love, and they live happily ever after. In a mid-credit scene of the movie, Mio tells Madoka about her love for Erida, and Madoka accepts their love, showing that she wasn't betraying her friend. Arata's mom also starts talking to him, and the movie concludes with this happy ending.